just kindly state the line that it applies, then the particular word or sentence or what exactly needs to be corrected. So I'll start with page 15.
Line 16. The council chair thanked members for all their support. The word for is missing.
Okay, sir. For to be inserted before all in line 16. I'll go to page 16.
Line 63. This was noted for update on role, R-O-L-E.
Noted, sir. Still on page 16. I move on to page 17. Next is page 18.
Please, the mic.
The mic, please.
On 17, a word is missing on line 180 about Mr. Ademo was deployed as a new dash introduction to the conference. Supposed to be a word there. Is it a new tool or something or new? 180 on 17. Deployed as a new something.
As a new innovation to the conference. Instead of the introduction, it will be replaced by innovation. A conference app was developed as a new innovation to the conference.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Take you, sir. Take that one. Take that one. If you need some.
On page 18, line 186. The NICE 2017, which is already in its second day today, you take out which?
Okay.
Confusing that.
So we remove which and is after already.
Yeah.
Okay, noted, sir. So that reads, the NICE 2017 is already in its second day today. Still on page 18. Page 19. Mike, please.
Yeah, page 19, line 254.
Okay, sir.
Alex Nayin's name is spelled wrongly.
Okay. That will be noted.
And also Monday Otabo, I think there's an R at the end of the name, the spelling.
Page 2,
No, line 253, 254.
253 and 254.
Yeah.
Otabo, we have her at the
R.
end, and then you will be spelled correctly as Neyim.
N-E-Y-I-N.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Still on page 19.
I think Otabo also shows on, which one? 161 or what? 61? That's on page 16, line 61.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's on page 61. Line 61, rather. Okay.
There should be a space between Ajiri Ogedegbe and expressed.
Okay, sir. Spaced.
Same line. Concern about the status. There's a space between TH and E.
Okay. Noted, sir. Still on 19. Okay. Moving on to page 20.
Thank you. 20, line 311 says Tony Ogunkoya has to explain more on receivables. I think the language is not right. To give further explanation or something would be better.
Yeah. Tony,
311 to explain more sounds like a casual
so
discussion.
Engineer Tony Ogunkoya asked the auditor to provide further explanation.
Yeah, I think that sounds.
That will be noted, sir. Thank you, sir. Still on page 20. Noted. Next, page 21. Mike, please give the mic, bring the mic to the front row. The mic.
Line 424.
Okay, sir.
I beg to strike out the word outgoing.
Yeah.
I think the word outgoing is misnomer.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, sir.
Thank you.
As at then is the ARD. Okay. Still on page 21.
I think line 317 on page 20. Please let's look at the spelling of Utabo again.
Yes, that's been noted by the council chair already. Thank you. On page 21. Still on page 21. Page 22. 436 on page 22.
Line 436 says Engineer Alex Nayim told the AGM that it used to be rotational. Now it's by election. So now it is by election. Yeah.
So on that line, we correct the name to Ney and it to it. Thank you, sir.
Line 449, Professor Wumi Iledare supported Mr. Emeka's Ene's opinion.
Supported, so support. Thank you, sir. Still on page 22.
Line 489, Engineer Andy Olotu, BOT chairman. There needs to be a space between chairman and assured. And also at the end of the line, you have 4 SPE. There needs to be a space in between.
Thank you, sir. Space between chairman and assured, and space between 4 and SPE on line 489.
Line 46, yeah. Line 464, with the incumbent, Dr. Saka Matemilola, full stop and space he commended.
Okay. Line 450.
Line 450. Look at sections, officers. The word does should not be does, should be do.
Sections officer do not necessarily.
Okay. Yes, not does.
Same 450, he appealed that
appealed.
BOT look at it and the election process.
Thank you. 492. Space between and encourage on line 492. There are no more comments on page 22. I move to page 23. Page 23. If there are no further corrections or observation for the 2017 AGM minutes, I will hereby propose that someone adopt the minutes.
I want to make an observation.
Yes, sir.
Is it now conventional to omit attendance in the minutes?
It's not conventional. That should be an oversight. We have the attendance. It's an omission, so we include it, sir. Thank you. Observation?
I want to move.
There's still an is that an observation? There's still an observation at the back. If you have an observation, kindly signify. Observation at the back, and I have one.
This is not an observation, just a little online 538, action item number 4, leadership training to identified young emerging promising young professionals.
4. Okay, thanks for that. After the council secretary and the council's chairman's signature, the table is not supposed to be there at all because it's a matters arising from the action item. It was just a printer's error. Apologies for that.
Sorry. Page 61. Just a clarification. Do we have
page
61?
61. Page 61.
Number 30 on
it's not part of the minutes of meeting.
Okay.
So I'll stay within the minutes of meeting for now.
It's okay. Thank you.
Observation. Since this publication may be read and taken wide, I would suggest proper editing. There are just too many grammatical errors. We need to make sure we give it to someone to edit before we publish it so that there will be less grammatical errors. There are just too many.
Thank you very much for that observation. We actually do have an editor and the person edited, reviewed, and said it was fine. But you can clearly see it's not the case. Can I request that people at the very back move forward? I do not understand why there are gaps. Our BOT members are very friendly. Our senior members are very friendly. They don't scare anybody. So I don't know why people start from the fourth row. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I would like a member to move adoption of the minutes.
Thank you. I wish to propose that with the adjustments and amendments being made, I wish to propose for the adoption of these minutes.
Your name and affiliation, sir.
Adewale Dosumo, section 103.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Seconded.
Section 104. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The meeting is hereby adopted. The minutes hereby adopted. Next on the agenda is the summary of the matters arising and action items from the 2017 AGM. That will be projected on the screen. Do you have it? Can you project that? Have it for projection. Okay. Okay. While to load the slides for the matters arising, essentially we have 5 points that were in the last AGM, 2 of which were completed during the course of the year, 2 pending, and 1 in progress. Okay. Me? No. So thanks for that. Okay, so as projected,
Okay, thank you very much. Before we look at the matters arising, it's just been pointed out to us that in the course of the council year, we lost one of our very senior members, who was the director of SP Section 103 Port Harcourt, and a former council chairman, that's Dr. J. Ikem. So we'd like to request that we rise for a 1-minute silence in honor of Dr. J. Ikem. We've already done on behalf of Dr. E. Yeah, for Dr. J. Ikem. May the good Lord, in his infinite mercies, grant the soul of the dearly departed peaceful rest. Amen.
Apologies for the initial delay, but still not the edited version that was displayed. So I will go on with the matters arising and action items. Discussion one, we have a discussion on the of section officers becoming council members and the election process tweaking. That is having sections officers having members that are not just section officers being moved to councils as members. So that's what that's about. And that
word is pattern, not partner. Pattern.
So that's pending. For those that are closed, we have symbolic status for handing over during AGM. That was done last year, and we have a pattern to for that. Then number 3, proper recognition of short cost expenditure. This has been corrected for this year, and that's also done. On number 4 is to identify section officers and young professionals that will be trained for leadership position. That is pending, and part of the things we've done for that is to restructure the SOW courses during the AGM. So we include some other leadership courses and training in our SOW tomorrow. And for finally, number 5 is status of the court process on SP property. We've been going to court sessions through the course of the year, and that is in progress. So I will take all observations for action 1 to 5 if there is any. Go ahead, sir. Your name and affiliation, sir. Thank you, sir. Any other comment?
On item number 1, it's not very clear to me what election process tweaking means.
Okay. Explain that. The rules we currently have are that the council is constituted through the sections. And the constitution is the immediate past chairman of the section, the incoming chairman of the section, and the program chair. Some cases, a section will be allowed to bring in 2 additional members. And it is from that group of people, that is how, people get into becoming council members. Now, the idea behind that, there was a conversation around it, that we lose the benefit by doing this of having some very senior people join the Nigerian Council and play a role. So because the trend that we've seen is that the sections determine who represents them without any influence from any other body. So the idea is there somehow to tweak the process in such a way that we can reflect a few more senior people to join the council. Because the constitution of the council are not people who are always senior in their respective organizations. That's the essence of that.
Mike?
Thank you. Please, on number 5, I'll appreciate if you can give us further updates. You just said it's in progress. We've been in court for like 2 years, so please, can you update us with a view to trying to resolve this issue?
So for now, we have another court date. It has been adjourned till sometimes in November. So that's the status for now, sir.
Okay, let me expatiate a little bit more. Over the course of the year, there have been 2 court meetings that were set up to adjudicate on the matter, and each time it was postponed at the instance of the other party. And this last time, the postponement was done till the 24th of November, if I remember correctly. So it is agreed that at the 24th, by the 24th of November, judgment will be entered. Now, what we seem to understand, but it's not been proven yet, is that it is more likely than not that judgment is entered in favor of the other party, not SP Nigeria. That's the information we can pass on. But whatever happens, and that's because of some kind of a relationship, apparently, between the other party and the judge who is handling the case.
Right, sir.
Ike Urunta, section 104. Please, I'd like to give a point of information to the chairman. How you explain number 1 isn't exactly right. The rule when the council was set up is that it's mandatory that the section chairman must be a member of the council. Now the sections will pick 2 other senior members from their sections. Now what has been happening is that each year the chairman gets on board and he picks his programs chairman and he picks one other person down the line and they come there. Last year, somebody brought this up and said that, look, what we really need to do is when you have gotten to chairman's level and you have left, you are still around. The sections can call on you at any time and pick you to come to the council because of your wealth of experience. So I'm just trying to correct. The objection is we just sit back and take our programs chairman and one other person and we come to council.
I don't understand
the essence of the correction,
members
please, who have been staying behind, doing nothing thereafter.
But that's exactly what I said. I said that the discussion was around the practice. I didn't say about rules. I said the practice that we've noticed is that the people that come to the council are immediate past chairman, council chairman, and program chair. Sorry, immediate past section chair, current section chair, and program chair. That's the practice. And this comment was around the fact that can we find a way to change it? I didn't say it was a rule. Can we find a way to change it so that we can reflect some senior members? It wasn't particular about an immediate section chair. Other senior members that could be elected. So that's the explanation of the point. So it's exactly the same thing that I said. And the idea was there should be no decision was taken, but that is the essence of that particular point. Thank you.
My name is Osai Geo, section 104. I really don't understand what problem we are trying to solve with 1. Because the premise of SPE is of development of talent. And the sections and the council has been a veritable platform to develop talent. After being a chairman and after leaving the council, we should still be available to support the council, either from the BOT or from other platforms. We don't have to be in the council to do that. I truly believe that we need to be very conscious of the fact that if we go in this direction, we are stifling the objective of developing the next generation.
Thank you, sir. Any other comment?
That serial number 1 is not correct. Discussion on pattern of session officers. Yes, session officers there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Any further comments on matter arising? Okay. There are no further comments. We move on with the agenda of the AGM. Can you go back to the agenda, please? Next on the agenda will be the 2018 Council Chairman's Annual Report. Council Chair, please.
Okay, thank you very much. The report is quite a long one, and I'm not going to go into every single thing. I'll just concentrate on the high points. Please, I need somebody to point out to me when I have spent 10 minutes, so I start rounding off. I will read from the document you have in front of you and then pick up on some of the items there. The 2018 SP International President, Mr. Darcy Spurdy. The 2013 SP International President, the SP Regional Director for Africa, the SP Regional Director-elect for Africa, the SP Director for Middle East, Africa, and South Asia Events, past SPE Regional Directors for Africa, Chairman, SPE Nigerian Council Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Trustees for SPE Nigeria, past Chairman of SPE Nigerian Council, senior SPE members, members of SPE, staff of the society, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the SPE Nigerian Council leadership for 2018, I am pleased to present the 2018 annual report. Over the years, SPE Nigerian Council has evolved structurally, enhancing its ability to address issues directly impacting its members and those specific to the Nigerian petroleum industry, grooming of future leaders, and supporting the establishment of the right corporate governance structures. The 2018 Council leadership promised to consolidate on these new structures. This decision aided the effective delivery of the society's core purpose: collecting, disseminating, and exchanging technical information. Sometimes we lose focus on what the imperative actually is and what the relating to the petroleum industry, and to provide opportunities for professionals to enhance their technical and professional competence. To this end, the following were achieved. Operational structure. Continue to strengthen the structure whereby we have 3 standing committees. The 3 standing committees, under the 3 standing committees, we have the subcommittees that run effectively or execute the programs of the council for the year. We also shortened the time spent during council meet and planning meetings to have effective meetings. And how we did this was we had a template whereby if anybody would present to us what the issues they have are, what the help they need is, and what they plan to do in the next month. And those 3 issues were just discussed, and we put action points and action parties and support around that. One of the standing committees that is critical is the Finance and Audit Standing Committee. The other standing committees are the Technical Standing Committee and the Management Services Standing Committee. All financial approvals are first passed through the Financial and Audit Standing Committee and then the Council Tender Committee. The Council Tender Committee is led by the vice chairman of the council, and this practice has continued. And therefore, we have a structure that ensures that there is an auditable process for approvals of any expenditure by the Nigerian Council. We already had the SPE E&P Limited, and it provides certain services. And what we try to do is make it entirely independent of the SPE Nigerian Council. And we've achieved that with the advice of our auditors, whereby anything that is interpreted as a profit scheme, a profit-making venture, has been transferred to SPE E&P Limited and out of the focus of the SPE Nigerian Council. That includes shops that were purchased for any profit, rent taken. So currently the SPE Nigerian Council, if they are occupying an office, they pay rent to SPE E&P Limited. Shell schemes for booth constructions. And on that basis, the SPE E&P Limited now functions as a separate business entity and pays its taxes. We also have a plan to transfer all secretariat staff to SPE E&P. And therefore, it therefore means that we do not have any kind of secretarial staff that we say are SPE Nigerian Council paid employees. In terms of the council offices, we separated a couple of deliverables. The secretary of the council delivers on the costly visits and has done a great job of doing that. There's a membership committee, there's a huge membership drive, and the publicity secretary has continued the publication of a quarterly print of e-bulletins and external communications. This year, we have achieved the printing of 2 of the quarterly bulletins, and the rest of them will be coming out in the course of the year. We appointed an external auditor who prepared the audit for the 2017 audit report, and he highlighted certain compliance issues, resulting in several of the recommendations already being implemented. A few of these include registration for tax and implementation of tax deductions, withholding tax, VAT, and payee, properties and staff insurance, and the transfer of assets from the books of SPE Nigeria to SPE E&P for tax compliance purposes. In terms of the council meetings, we maintained the online meeting, which was introduced in the 2017 council year. And this resulted in huge cost savings in travel costs for staff, council members, and standing and subcommittee members. In addition to that, it ensured increased participation because there was no reason not to attend because you were attending at your own location, and reduced the travel burden, not just the cost, on council officers and staff. In terms of communication and corporate partner engagements, as we mentioned, we had SPE Quarterly Bulletin, which is we've continued to publish. We have section activities, student chapters, and we continue to communicate these events and capture them in the bulletin. We strengthened our media partnerships with a couple of media partners, Business Day and Oil and Gas Year, TOGY, on a barter basis, deriving notable cost savings and enhanced publicity for SPE. So if you looked at one of the previous editions of Business Day, you'd have seen a full page behind the cover advert. One was done by NAPE, the other one was by SPE. For courtesy visits, we held courtesy visits across the different sections to thank our participating companies, international companies, academia, government institutions, and we held these between November 2017 and July 2018. The last of which was a courtesy visit to the Group Managing Director, NMPC. These visits strengthened SPE Nigerian Council's relationship with our partners and sponsors, and is clearly reflected in the level of sponsorship and paid sponsorship that we received for the Nigerian Annual International Conference and Exhibition 2018. In terms of collaborations, we did mention at the beginning of the council year that we look to collaborate with government agencies And one of the ones we identified to take forward was the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board. We had 2 separate engagements with them, and on the basis of that, they have sponsored for, I would think, the first time, the NICE 2018, in addition to sponsoring the students, I'll come to that later on, who won the Energy Challenge at the Student Technical Symposium and Exhibition at the Nile University, Abuja, in February of 2018. There were 14 universities that contested, 5 of them won, and NCDMB provided 2.5 million naira seed money for them to build prototypes of what they had presented at the Energy Challenge, which are currently being exhibited at the NCDMB pavilion of NICE. The partnership with IHRDC is an international partnership, and we continue to leverage on it to deliver professional trainings under SPE&P. We continued the great member benefit programs that were started by my predecessor, Dr. Sakama Temola. The Young Shall Grow, SPE Cares, Awinuma Our Pride, One Industry, One Society. We appreciate you, Technical Excellence, and the Professional Development Council. One outcome, and I'll just pick on one of them, of One Industry, One Society, is that we're planning to have a workshop with NAPE, the Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists, to discuss marginal field bids, which we think is important for us to get together and speak with one voice to the federal government of Nigeria. The Young Shall Grow program, the Catch Them Young, if you were here at the industry night, there were several awards. Mr. Yusuf Matashi, Mr. Monde Otabo, Sir I.G. Okafo, Dr. Demola Ademi Bero. All these, as senior members, supported what we'll call the Young Shall Grow Awards. We increased the total number of university student sponsorship to ATCE to 25. Initially, we had 4 universities, which each had 5 members, to make 20 from SP International, whether the Nigerian Council would sponsor an additional university, and we agreed to do that. Those students are currently going through the process of getting their visas, and once the visas are obtained, the visas payments have all been made, we'll be sponsoring them to the ATCE. In terms of SPE Cares, we continue our corporate social responsibility, fund-filled social events, and showing the community in Nigeria what SPE is about. Our Women Are Pride, one of the great things we did with our Women Are Pride, again, was the Girl in STEM Leadership Award. And I'd like to thank everybody that sponsored the award. In actual fact, once the STEM awards were announced, the outflow of funds that came led to an increase in the number of people we could give awards to. So it went from 5 to 6 deserving young women. The awards were given yesterday at the industry night. We appreciate you. We continued with that, but created a number, I think there are 14 of them, of new award categories that are sponsored by our senior members. Please crave your indulgence for me to read out this. I'm coming to an end very soon. The Dr. Jude Amefule Reservoir Description and Dynamics Award, the Mr. Chikezie Nwosu Formation Evaluation Award, the Mr. Bernard Obarekwe Drilling and Completions Award, the Engineer Andy Olotu Production and Operations Award, the Engineer Alex Iney Projects, Facilities and Construction Award, the Engineer Kofi Sago HSSE Responsibility Award, the Mr. Egbert Imomo Distinguished Service Award, the Engineer Philip Chuku Public Service Award, and the late Dr. Emmanuel Eboga Petroleum Industry Advocacy Award, the Dr. Ademola Ademi Bero Young Professional Service Award, K. Falade and Professor Chi Yu Ikoku Late Distinguished Achievement Award for Petroleum Engineering Faculty, the Sir I.G. Okafo Best YP Section Award, the Mr. Yusuf Matashi Catch Them Young Awards, and the Mr. Monde Atabo Nice Chapter Contest Awards. These 14 awards expand the scope of awards that we give to recognize people to say, we appreciate you. On One on Industry, One Society, I would mention again the NAPE collaboration, but in addition, we have supported the Committee of Heads of Petroleum Engineering Departments, CHIPED. A committee of council presented a report on curriculum review of petroleum engineering disciplines in Nigeria. I'd like to thank CHIPED for all to push that forward. In terms of capacity development, we continued with our technical excellence. We were unable to run the SPEMP executive training courses, but we'll come to that later on. And we have resolved certain issues around our collaboration with PTI on the Professional Development Committee. We actually paid them a visit, and Professor UK promised us that he would support the continuation of that program. The Nigerian Annual International Conference and Exhibition, NICE 2018, we consolidated the changes and innovations introduced in the previous year, and we have successfully run a new session, which is the digitization panel session, which is critical because when we talk about the theme for next year's conference, you will see that we did this to lead up to that theme. And I understand that that was a very successful one. We have an innovation on kiosk registration, batch pickup, which I understand went very well. We continued with the in-app registration native app, but there are improvements that are required because we found out that certain things worked very well, but certain things were not that functional. The electronic technical paper rating, we decided to step it down because of certain challenges we had, but we'll continue to see how we can improve that. If you observe, at most of our sessions, we introduced noise-canceling headphones. And you need to understand that these were free. We did not pay one kobo for those noise-canceling headphones. It was a collaboration between us and some sponsoring body that decided that they wanted to test this in a conference. I do understand that NAPE has called to say that we should introduce this to them and introduce the partner to them, but he says he's going to charge them money. The Oloibri Lecture Series and Energy Forum, the Nigerian oil industry in a world of changing energy supply. Are we prepared? Went extremely well. We actually had the renewable industry people there with us. I will just mention one thing. One outcome of that in terms of advocacy was that we are supporting the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria to push forward a policy or a bill, to the National Assembly to allow energy free trade zones, not just oil and gas free trade zones. I've continued the discussion with some members of National Assembly who were there to left, and I just discussed with Mrs. Habib Ali, who came as a moderator from that event to our Women Development Program on how we'll continue with that. The SPE Nigerian Council Students Activities, very brilliant STSE. We thank the Nile University Abuja. And I'll just go back a little bit. At the 2017 ATC Petro Bowl, we came second. The University of Benin came second, and this is the first time we have an AGM where we're announcing that. Please, can we give a round of applause to the students from the University of Benin? The SPEI president was there. He was incoming president, and he proudly associated with us. And we had very many questions about where the University of Benin was. And we said, it is in Nigeria. That is the reason why we're sponsoring 5 universities this year with 25 students to go for the ATS. If 2 universities got us second prize, 5 universities will come up with first, second, and third prizes. We already have given out the awards for a lot of these. Please read through them. I would just want to touch on the African Regional Paper Contest, where I understand it was held in Accra. I was unable to attend on the 16th of March. And the roll call of winners include 3 Nigerians who came first, second, and third. And therefore, we continue to establish our preeminent position in the African region. For SP International Student Awards, our standard chapter awards, student chapter awards, were given by the SP International president to AUST, IUO, University of Ibadan, Photo, and the Anambra, is it? ANSU. For Gold Chapter Awards, we have NON, NAU, UNICAL, ATBU, FUPRE, and NDU. Please, can we also appreciate these universities for winning the SP International Award? We were tasked by the Board of Trustees to hold the first SP Nigerian Council sponsored annual technical symposium. There was a competition amongst the sections, and the University of Benin won that sponsorship and hosted the annual technical symposium for the first time on wells, reservoir, and facilities management. Our intention is to continue this practice until we get to the point where it becomes an annual technical workshop. You cannot use the word workshop unless you satisfy certain criteria by SPE. But of course, we can continue with the annual technical symposium until we get to that point. The other sections also carried out their own technical symposia, but this time not sponsored by the council. In the Lagos section, we had a very, very good panel discussion on expediting field development planning and approval processes. And both the Warri and Port Harcourt sections held their annual technical symposium and exhibition that were very well attended. We had significant improvements in section and chapter programs. I will not go into details. Please take a look at that. Due to the poor performance on properties, due to the poor performance of the shops that we bought at Ikota, and the fact that we're a professional organization, we decided that we'll put a stop to it. We sold the shops and we passed on the rest of the funds to SPEMP. The litigation question over the twin row duplexes in Trans-Amadi Gardens, the case has been ongoing. Witnesses have been cross-examined. We're at the stage of adoption of written addresses ahead of closure of the case. We have actually put in our written addresses, and we're expecting the closure of the case by 24th of November. The 2017 financial performance, the financials are shown there, and I would just crave your indulgence to mention a few things. We did with the advice of the auditors. There was an unpredicted decline, as they called it, of 84.72% on non-current assets between 2016-17 and 2017-18, following the reclassification of some assets to SPE&P Limited, so they are no longer in the books of SP Nigerian Council. This is about 24.03 million. So the net assets after that depreciation is 24.03 million, sorry. The net change is about 12 million. In addition, some funds were donated to SPEMP to the tune of 8.6 million naira to drive the operations of that profit-making venture. So this is no longer in the books of SP Nigerian Council, and they advised that that was the proper way to do it instead of continuing to retain those amounts of money there as if we were a profit-earning venture. We are not for non-profit. We did put our money in treasury bills so that we could earn money to run this conference. So fixed deposit, treasury bills, and the money market, and they successfully performed at maximum returns through the course of the year. We'll continue to pursue the identification of sound investment opportunities to improve our financial performance and therefore effectively reduce our request for sponsorship from our partners going forward. As earlier stated, we saved on travel costs, and overall, we see a better financial future ahead. On staff, we received tremendous support from the Council Secretariat. We actually increased, based on approvals by the Council, increased the salary, and you'll see that reflected in the financial records. Now, unfortunately, membership growth was poor. And you can see the figures over there. The growth rates were effectively negative across all the sections. We'll continue to focus on how we will grow this membership rate. So that is one of the lowlights. The Board of Trustees, a total of 4 new members, 4 meetings of the Board of Trustees was held, and there were new appointments made to the Board of Trustees. Mrs. Beatrice Payne, Professor Wala Desumo, Engineer Bwesimi Akperi. Also in the course of the year, unfortunately, we lost 4 of our trustees. Dr. Emmanuel Eboga, Dr. Joseph Ikem, Mr. J. Udofia, and Chief Gabriel Adebowale. And Sorry, do not know where the next sentence comes. Okay. So sorry about that. The last part is that we had a project where we're going to circulate the school industrial work experience schemes of the different participating companies to the CHIPED, and for them to work to make sure that we have our student members being provided a pathway to doing their industrial attachments. We've continued to ask that this be done, and some participating companies have actually done this already. The SP Nigerian Council succession plan, the council, in line with the operating guidelines, called for nominations for the 2019 Vice Council Chair in late 2017. The result of that nomination process led to the election of Mr. Joseph Mwakwe, the STA, to the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources as the Vice Chairman-elect for 2018. Please, Joseph, stand for recognition. Joseph Mwakwe, thank you. In conclusion, I would sincerely like to thank the council members and members of the various section boards, members of the BOT and senior members, the NICE 2018 organizing committees, our corporate sponsors and organizations for the hard work and continued support that has made this council year a success. Dear colleagues, SPE is getting stronger in Nigeria, as we have seen, and this could not have been possible without your invaluable volunteerism. I sincerely urge you to continue to volunteer your time and resources to sustain and enable SPE Nigeria achieve its goals. Thank you for your time and listening, and I wish you a very successful NICE 2018. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair. We would like to discuss the annual report, then we adopt it. Comments on the annual report? No show of hands. So that means the annual report is as perfect. Oh, okay. Mike in front row, please. Mike in, okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and members of the BOT. The report we
Name
have...
and affiliation, sir.
Okay, my name is Ambi Joseph, Section 103. I am very elated by all the council achieved in the year under review. Very, very laudable achievements we had. But I want to just contribute to our low light. It's a contribution, how we can try to curb our negative growth rate. Just as the Honorable Chair pointed out, where we had poor growth. I want to just suggest, can we have deliberate efforts at trying to grow our membership, maybe reaching out to operators, service providers, and even our students in the industry to try to bring them on board, bring them on stream into the council. That's just my little contribution. Thank you.
So thank you very much for that. Let me say we have had a concerted effort to actually improve our membership numbers. We have visited smaller companies, so it's not just the big companies we visited. So in the course of the council year, we visited smaller companies, Millennium, New Cross. We also have encouraged membership, and we've explained to them that membership doesn't have to be petroleum engineers. And I'm sure that the statistics have changed. But of course, at the reporting time, we have to reflect what it was at the time this summary was done. So I'm expecting that by the next time we take a look at this report, we will see significant improvements. The registration process has just started for some of these new members. Thank you.
Please change the mic, please.
My name is Alex Ney. on the board of trustees, the names of those that are late is Chief Gabriel Bamboye. So let's get that corrected.
Not Adebowale, Bamboye. Thank you, sir. Any other comment? If there are no other comments, then can I have someone to adopt the 2018 Council's annual report? Okay. So that means the report is good as presented. Okay.
So I move to adopt the minute.
Thank you, OG. Next will be the audited financial statements for the year end March 31st, 2018. The auditor is here to present his position on the report, and it will also be available for questions. Then the council treasurer will present the full audited report. So I'll call on the council treasurer to take over that.
Thank you very much. Good evening, August body. I would invite the auditor to state his opinion of the audited account, please.
Good evening, the chairman, Society for of Petroleum Engineer Nigerian Council, the vice chairman and incoming, the immediate chairman, past chairman, the members of the board of trustees, ably led by Engineer Andrew Olotu, and other board of trustee members, the chairman of sessions, and the great members of this noble society. Congratulations on another annual general meeting. I am here and also I think I should recognize the representative of the Society of Petroleum Engineers International, if they're here. I am here as the auditor of Society of Petroleum Engineer Nigerian Council to present the auditor's report for the financial year 2018, 31st March 2018. My name is Tajuddin Adewale Olayinka, a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and also the audit engagement and the managing partner of the firm, Tajuddin Olayinka and Co. I also serve on the board, or I'm a member of the Governing Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. I will want to quickly talk about our report. I think you can go to the next one. Sorry, let me see. Now, the financial statement that we audited, they are the statement of the financial position as at 31st March 2018. Please, you can look at the brochure. The financial statements are on pages 24 up to page 51 or 52. So please, you can go with me. You can run through from page 24 to 52. Page 25 and 26 has our audited opinion. I'm going to come back to that later. My responsibility as the auditor is to audit and express my opinion on the Society of Petroleum Engineer Nigerian Council financial statement. The financial statement that we audited comprised of one, the statement of financial position as at 31st March 2018. We audited the statement of total comprehensive income for the year ended for the same period, the statement of changes in members' fund for the year ended for the same period, the statement of cash flow for the year ended 31st March 2018. Then we look at the notes to the financial statement, which include a summary of significant policies. Now, the auditing standard that we adopted, we conducted this audit in accordance with the international standards on auditing. We call it ISA. We are actually independent of the society, this Society of Petroleum Engineers, in accordance with the International Ethics Standard Board that accountants observe when they are undertaking this kind of assignment. And I want to say that we are completely independent from the members of the Governing Council of the society and the management. We do not have any commercial relationship with any of them. We need to state the responsibilities of the council and those that are charged with the governance of the financial statement, the management. The council is responsible for the preparation of the financial statement that give a true and fair view in accordance with international financial reporting standards and the Society of Petroleum Engineer Nigerian Council article, and to put in place such internal controls as the council deem necessary to enable for the preparation of the financial statement that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. So it is the responsibility of the council and the management to prepare the financial statement. Our own responsibility is to report on the financial report or financial statement prepared by them. Our responsibilities as the auditors, our objective are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue our opinion thereon. That is our responsibility. Then other things we do in the course of the conduct of our audit is that we exercise skepticism throughout the audit. And we also identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of the financial statement, whether due to fraud or error, and design and perform audit procedure responsive to those risks identified and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit. We also obtain an understanding of the internal controls relevant to the audit in order for us to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstance, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the internal control. Our duty is to look at the financial framework, the internal controls that are in place to produce a financial statement that is true and shows the true and fair view of the organization, and not necessarily to express our opinion on the effectiveness of the internal control. We also evaluate the appropriateness of the accounting policies used by the management and the reasonability or the reasonableness of the accounting statement estimate and related disclosures made by the council. We make conclusion on the appropriateness of the council use of going concern basis of accounting, and based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the society's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosure in the financial statement, or if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained in up to date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the society to cease to continue as a going concern. We also are to evaluate the overall presentation, the structure, and the content of the financial statement, including the disclosure, and whether the financial statement represents the underlying transaction and event in a manner that achieves fair presentation. In the course of this audit, we look at the financial framework. We look at the internal control environment. We look at the accounting system used by the society in preparing the financial statement. In the previous year, the organization used a semi-manual accounting system to prepare the financial statement. But this year, they were able to upgrade the accounting system, and a full automated accounting system was used in preparing the financial statement that we audited. We also look at the manpower in the finance department and the relevant skills. We also, in the course of the performance of our duty, we look at the relevant financial and other policies and procedures and processes put in place. We look at the approval authorities, in place, the documentation, and then the overall internal controls over the financial reporting, the segregation of duties, access controls, internal reconciliation of account, physical controls, authorization controls over the bank and payment. All these were examined in designing procedures. In reviewing those environment, we were able to come to some, conclusion on the risk that were around the controls put in place by management. We found out that there was inadequate, there was inadequacy in the general and application controls over the automated accounting system. We just said that they just migrated from semi-manual. And so in this financial year, we would want to ensure that necessary controls are put around this financial reporting system. Also, there is the issue of the inadequacy of manpower in the finance department. The finance department currently has only one person, and that gives a serious risk over the processing of transactions. There is a lack of segregation of authorizing committee. Presently, there is a committee of finance and audit in place. Feel that audit should be separated from finance. Finance should be able to look at financial issues, planning and investment and things like that. But the audit department needs to be independent of that committee in order for this issue of risk to be taken away. Then we also look at the documentation of financial policies. We want proper documentation of all the financial policies. So in the course of doing that, we had to do more of substantive testing of the transaction in order to be able to gain confidence and to be able to have reasonable assurance that this financial statement is not misstated. We also had to do a lot of reconciliation of the transactions with third-party, statement in order for us to be sure that they are all captured. And that also led to some analysis and classification in order for us to be able to have an opinion to share today. The chairman has done a very good work in giving an overview of the financial statement. Looking at page 27 on your brochure, you will see there the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. In the course of that year, income came from sponsorship and donation from different programs that the organization organized, income from registration, income from exhibition. The breakdowns are also in the notes to the account. When you look at 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, you will see the different organized by the society that resulted into those income. And we can see the increases from the previous year on the sponsorship and donation, 26%. On registration increase, there's 11%, and down the line in that statement. Also, there's a little bit of increase in operational expenditure. The cost of organizing those events was increased by 16%. So the gross surplus from the activity of the society was 86 million as against the 50 million in the prior year. One area that we like to commend the effort of this council has to do with the management of the investment. In the course of that year, they grew the investment return by over 100%. I think they were able to consolidate their investment and were able to negotiate for good returns. And I think they need to continue on that trajectory. And this further confirmed to the sustainability of this society and the going concern of this organization. When you look at note number 8 and probably note number 7, if you put them together, that is just about 47 million. If the society continues like this, the return on investment is just enough to be able to meet the overhead of this society, even without looking for sponsorship. And I think this council needs to be commended. And also that may buttress the fact that I think if you go back, please go back to that statement again. So the bottom line there is that the society generated a surplus of 80 million as against 30 million. And that is an increase of 160 million. So this is looking to me that this is a confirmation that Nigeria is out of recession. Financial position, the next one. The net book value of this society is 760 million. We have reasonable evidence to confirm that all these assets and liability, they exist. But I think with the way that this society is going, I do see that a book value of 760 million, probably in another few years, this value will be doubled. This organization came to being sometimes in 1973. It's about 45 years now. The net book value of this society is $2.1 million. I think you are not doing bad. But if you want to compare you with other professional bodies, as I told you, I belong to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Our book value is about $11–12 million. And so we are just about 8 years older than this society. So I believe that you still have about 8 more years to catch up with us. So in all, I would like to now give our opinion. Having reviewed and audited all the statements stated earlier on, it is our opinion that the Society of Petroleum Engineer Nigerian Council financial statement, it gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the society as at 31st March 2018 and of its financial performance and its cash flow for the year ended in accordance with international financial reporting standard and the requirement of the Society of Petroleum Engineers article. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Auditor. You've read my report. Yes. Basically, I think you've said it all. So I'll just ask the secretary to move for adoption of the financial statement. No, the adoption comes first.
Can we adopt the position and the accounts as presented by the auditor?
Kilani Bello is my name. Section 116. I'd like to move for adoption of the financial reports, especially with the very healthy balance that we have, even though there's a low oil price. So I want to believe the council have done very well this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Comments? Okay, can we get someone to second it? Mike, please.
My name is Ndufo Patrick, PTI Nigeria from Section 104. I here do second that.
Thank you, sir. We can then take comments, if any. Thank you. Since there are no comments on the financial report, we go to... Oh, okay. There is a comment, please.
Yeah. So it's not a it's not a question, it's a comment. And I just want to appreciate the council for a sterling performance. To take a bit of shine from Chike, this account, and for clarity, because I like clarity, this account is the year ended 31st March 2018. So this collaboration, the responsibility for this account goes to Chike and Dr. Saka's council years. Please, a round of applause. Just for things to be clear. And I'm looking forward to even better performance next year. And you will be sharing it with Debo. Yeah, because that's the way, because of the mismatch between our financial years and the SP Council year. But I really, when I look at this report, and thank you to the auditor for a very sound presentation compared to what we used to have before. I don't know if it was the one here last year, because I couldn't make it I left before the AGM last year, but it just, when you look at the fundamentals of our society, I mean, it gladdens me to say that the changes we've made in the past few years is paying dividends with a stronger council, with more commitment, and with a drive to keep us on that steep path. So we leave the baton to Debo and in future Joe to take us to beat ICANN at least, and then we'll know where we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Are there more comments? Okay. Professor Ledary.
Thank you very much. My name is Wumi Ledari. I'm from EEI Uniport. Just for the record, because he was trying to compare ICANN with SPE, and I must do my best not to let it pass without correcting. You can't compare apple with oranges, because I can tell you where ICANN gets its money from is barrier to entry, and we don't have barrier to entry. We don't have government support to be the only one that can certify accountants. So we are not catching up with you, because we are professional engineers who have no barrier to entry. Thank you very much.
Any more comments? Okay, I'd like to, in summary, and I quite appreciate what Osai Gian said, and I'd like to say that I wasn't going to take the credit for the 2018 council year on my own, because these processes, as I keep mentioning, Dr. Martin Vilala has been a solid person to take me along. When I was vice council chair, we had certain things we agreed on. He kicked off the implementation. I continued with it. Debo has been part of this as well, so I'd also like to recognize, look, if you ask my standing committee and subcommittee members, they don't get a penny if they don't explain in detail what they are going to get. In actual fact, I'm the one who sometimes says, please forgive them and allow them to go ahead. So I have no doubts that when you read the next year's zone, it will be a substantial improvement over this year's zone. Thank you. Now, one of the things we need to recognize are that there were certain comments made by the auditor that we need to take into account. We need to beef up our financial team in the secretariat. One person in the finance department is not enough. So we will kick off a process with the support of our auditors to identify people that we can interview, and they provide the necessary training for them to join our at least one person. They had recommended that we should have, I think, 2 additional, one to look over the sections, yeah, and one in addition to the one in the council. So we're looking towards that. The other thing that we may have observed in this conversation is the need to separate the financial and audit standing committees. So we'll be proposing that we have a different financial standing committee and an audit standing committee. And therefore, the number of standing committees for the Nigerian Council will change from 3 to 4. Okay? So that's a proposal that we'd like to table in front of the AGM now, and therefore that the incoming council chairman will be able to start implementing it. So if it's actions going forward before, since we finished the comments, it is about a discussion around those two items: hiring and beefing up the financial department and the separation of the financial and audit standing committees. So I'd like to have a discussion around that before we go to the next part of the event. Okay, if there are no objections, we will go ahead. So it has been agreed that we will hire 2 more people into the finance department, and we'll also separate the financial, the FASC into financial and audit standing committees. So it will be then your job to determine how within the council will constitute those 2 standing committees. Thank you very much. The ayes have it, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Chair. We'll go ahead and take. Okay.
Oh, thank you. So, can somebody? No, the chairman cannot move the motion. Can I? All right. Can somebody help move the motion? Thank you for that correction. Thank you. Yes, it's an AGM. I cannot just propose and.
Thank you. I want to propose that based on the recommendation of the auditor and the presentation by the chairman of council, to hire 2 more people to look after the finances and to expand or split the finance and audit committee into 2. I wish to propose that we accept the recommendation as presented. Yeah, my name is Adewale Dosumu, section 103, Port Harcourt.
Seconded by who?
I, Olafiyala Lekon, section 116. Seconded.
Thank you. Okay, then we can move ahead to the awards at this AGM. I will hand over to the AGM award committee to do that. Mike, please.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call Mrs. Data Jaja, who will be making the presentation of the awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Diko. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I beg to stand on existing protocols, and I thank the entire society as represented here tonight for this opportunity. I'm tasked or being asked to announce the Leadership Awards. There are 2 awards for tonight, but I'll start with the Leadership Awards to be given to 2 distinguished SP Nigeria Council members. I'd like to call on Dr. Saka Matemilola. Please be upstanding and come forward. And I'll be reading a citation. Dr. Saka is the Chief Petroleum Engineer at First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company, Lagos. Previously, he worked with Shell in various roles, including reservoir engineering coach and consultant, hydrocarbon resource management, and development planning. Dr. Saka is a visiting scholar at Institute of Petroleum Studies, University of Port Harcourt, and a visiting associate professor at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja, the Center of Excellence in Geosciences and Petroleum Engineering, University of Benin. He is also an adjunct at the Department of Petroleum Engineering, University of Ibadan. He has served in various roles on the board of SP Section 103, Port Harcourt, as well as the Nigerian Council. He was the 2017 chairman of SP Nigerian Council and was also chairman for SP Section 103 in 2012. Dr. Saka was the 2017 recipient of the SP Public Service Award and also a distinguished member of the society. Dr. Saka holds BSc and master's degrees in mechanical engineering from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria, and PhD in applied mechanics from University of Cambridge, UK. Please, let's give him a round of applause. He'll be upstanding while I call on the second recipient of the Leadership Award. It also goes to Engineer Francis Dike. Please come forward. Engineer Francis Dike was born about 4 decades ago in the metropolitan city of Ibadan, where he had his primary, secondary, and tertiary education. He attended the University of Ibadan and obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree in petroleum engineering in the year 1998. He started his professional career over 15 years ago as a reservoir engineer with the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, an EMP subsidiary of NNPC, where he spent about 5 years before moving to Shell Petroleum Development Company. He is currently a senior reservoir engineer in the subsurface studies in SPDC. His experience spans across resource volume, evaluation and reporting, well and reservoir management, field development planning, exploration, maturation support, business planning, and non-operated asset hydrocarbon delivery. He is the current SP Section 104 Warri Chairman. At the Nigerian Council level, he chairs the NACE 2018 Technical Standing Committee and Critical Review Subcommittee. He was NACE 2017 Conference Chairman. Engineer Dike is happily married to Joy Udegwa Dike, and the union is blessed with children. He's a chorister and a devout Christian. He is from Oguta local government area in Imo State. Please give him a round of applause. Now presenting this award to both recipients is our 2018 SPI President, Mr. Spady Darcy. Please come forward. Please a round of applause for him. Please encourage them and clap. Thanks. Okay, you remain standing, please, while we take the next set of awards under the service award category. So for the next set of awards under the service award category, would call on our 2018 Council Chair, Mr. Chikezie Wonsu, to please do us the honors by giving the awards to the recipients. So we have for the 2017 Council Treasurer, Mr. Salahuddin M. Tahir, NNPC Section 199. Is he here? Okay. 2017 SP Energy Center Committee, Mr. Kefe Amrasa. 2017 OLEF Committee Chair, Mr. Said Olosho. 2017 Technical Excellence Committee Chair, Mr. Francis Wauchi. 2017 Professional Development Committee Chair, Engineer George Iwo. 2017 STCE Committee Chair, Mr. Debo Fagbami. 2017 We Appreciate You Way Committee Chair, Mr. Diko Ashafa. 2017 Finance and Audit Standing Committee Chair, Mr. Nosa Aisian. 2017 Technical Standing Committee Chair, Mr. Debo Fagbami. 2017 Management and Services Standing Committee Chair, Mrs. Ehimen Ogunlo. Ogunloye, sorry. 2017 Technical Papers Subcommittee, Engineer Chike Wanodi. 2017 Short Course Subcommittee, Mrs. Bola Femi Saliu. 2017 Secretariat Subcommittee, Mr. Eta Ago. 2017 Accommodation and Logistics Subcommittee, Mr. Timitokwe Oshuntui. 2017 Panel Session Subcommittee, Mrs. Rita Okorafo. 2017 Venue and Entertainment Subcommittee, Ms. Ugochi Akwiu. 2017 Exhibition Subcommittee, Mrs. Ogogo Effiom. 2017 Student Program Subcommittee, Dr. Ohehe Ikpomwosa. 2017 YP Subcommittee, Mr. Francis Oko. 2017 External Communications Subcommittee, Mr. Othman Mohammed. 2017 Critical Review Subcommittee, Mr. Salahuddin M. Tahir. 2017 Family Program Subcommittee, Mrs. Nura Oyekon. 2017 Sponsorship Subcommittee, Mr. Mustafa Yusuf. 2017 Women Program Subcommittee, Mrs. Shola Robinson. 2017 Topical Issues Workshop Subcommittee, Mrs. Caroline Onita. 2017 Section Officers Workshop Subcommittee, Mr. Kazim Hamzat. And the last but not the least, 2017 Health, Safety, Environment, and Security Subcommittee, Mr. Bruce Onengie. Please keep the clapping going. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, you can all. Yes, more photographs. Okay. Thank you very much. My job is done for now. Don't mind.
Congratulations, ma. Congratulations.
the leadership fee. He says when we dissolve, so we'll have to first call. So yes, so we just yeah, just request check. Yes, okay, okay. Moving on with the agenda, we'll move on to the presentation of the 2019 SP Nigerian Council incoming officers. I will request each section. I believe we have all section chairs on here to present the three nominations from their respective sections to the council. I would like to start with Port Harcourt section.
Yeah, good evening. All protocols observed. Okay, the Port Harcourt, myself, Mohammed Osman, the outgoing chair, and then followed by Erasmus Inena, the incoming section chair, and lastly, Engineer Iwo George, the programs chair, the incoming programs chair.
Please, can you come out for recognition if you are here, please? And stand in front here. Come out, please. Come out, please, if you are here. Okay. Kindly join them, Altman. Bini section. Worry section.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. For Worry section, I have myself, Francis Dike. I also have Polycarp Igoro, the incoming section chairman, and Caroline Onita, our incoming programs chairperson.
Thank you. Step out, please. Abuja section.
For Abuja section, we have the section chair, Ere Yala, Aristotle John Imezi, and Aminat Amadami.
Kindly come out if you are around. Then I go back to take Bini section. Do you have Bini section chair or section director?
Benin section. Aisen Osakari. Is he here? Henry Jomata, Olafuyala Lekon, and Oladugba Ayo.
Thank you. For Lagos section, we have myself, Temitope Oshuntui, Buchi Okereke, and Orogo Efiom.
Okay, permit me to continue the roll call of the new council members in the absence of the council secretary who is now on the floor. I would like to call on the outgoing council chairman who is going to be a member of the new council, Mr. Chikeze Wosu. Please step down. I will also want to call on the incoming vice chairman, Mr. Joseph Nwakwe, to come and join them here. A round of applause. The only person missing from this lineup is myself, right? But I will stand over here while I present you my acceptance speech, and afterwards join them for a group photograph. But in the meantime, I would just like to continue on the protocols as Yeah, permit me for that. I just been reminded that we need to follow one other step of procedure. I would like somebody from the audience to move a motion to dissolve the previous council or the current council precisely. So one person to move the motion.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think at the present time, I think the previous council haven't concluded its assignments. I wish to propose that the council stands dissolved.
Thank you, Prof. We need somebody to second that motion.
I'm not going to second the motion yet, but I want to make a clarification. We cannot allow Chike to run away now. He can't run away now. The handover is after ATC. How do you know that? Sorry? Yeah, August 31st, the final day of handover. So don't say we have dissolved and they disappear. Is that clear? Somebody please.
I want to move the motion, but I'm going to make a clarification. That means I want to personally congratulate the council because you are not fully gender equitable, but at least you are gender friendly this time. So on that note, so that I don't become more or less, what do you call it, an accomplice. So I decided to move because I now see two ladies on. Like when I saw all of you are men, so there's there are even three. So I hereby moved that this council. Okay, I second then.
Thank you very much, Prof. On that note, the 2018 Nigerian Council stands dissolved. The night is fast spent. I'll spend just very few minutes just to express my thoughts and the plans for the next council year, as it were. So if you don't mind, permit me to have everybody's undivided attention, please, so that we don't get distracted over the next 5 to 10 minutes. I will start, like I said, on the protocol that has been established by the outgoing council chairman. And by way of introduction, right, I'll tell a little bit of a story on how I got to this role, right, just to bring everybody on board. Being a volunteer in the service of SPA has been quite a very interesting journey for me, a personal journey, which I really and thoroughly have enjoyed. And I really thought I had ended that whole assignment when I finished my assignments as the section chairman of Port Harcourt section in 2016. And all I was looking forward to at the time was just to essentially to retire, right, and start mentoring young professionals, as it were, attending DLs, monthly technical meetings, and then going about my private life. Now, in November of that year, 2016, the season that, because of the new protocol in electing vice council chairman, we got a call for nominations from the council leadership at the time to come and nominate people for the office of the vice council chairman. Now, in typical SP fashion, I consulted with quite a number of colleagues that I know within the SP circle. And I eventually landed on the candidate that I felt was good enough to be the SP vice council chairman. And indeed, I put forward a nomination for him. Now, when I did that, I reached out to one of my ogas, in the SP space. And I told him that, look, I've put the nomination for this guy. I think he's going to be good. I think we all need to support him. I think we need to give him what it takes to get there. And after this, my Oga listened to me for like 5-10 minutes rambling. He said, Debo, you know what? I'm going to put in a nomination for you. So at that point, I tried to protest, but eventually I just laughed it off that. Anyway, at some point, this wild idea is probably going to just, fizzle off at some point. And, that said, I just continued my life, living it in my capacity as ex or immediate past section chairman of Port section, which I was enjoying, supporting the new chairman at the time. Now, few weeks after the nomination window closed, I started getting calls from senior members of SP, asking me if I was ready to become a council chairman. I said, well, I haven't thought of it at all. But if indeed my candidacy was anything to be reckoned with, they needed to seek, because these are people who are in the same capacity of SP as my boss. In other words, my boss, my lifetime boss and mentor, that's all of you seem to know. Now, and don't forget, this is the guy that actually introduced me to SP. So I said, go and talk to him. And because I was so confident that the guy would say, hey, listen, this guy's not ready. So these guys told me, they said, look, don't worry. Is it Temeka? We'll handle him. So I later on had a discussion with him. That's my boss. And he said, Debo, I beg, these people should just leave it alone. We have a company to build. We have other ideas. We have other things we're trying to do. Let's run our business. Eventually, I realized that, my boss didn't realize, or maybe he failed to realize that, the SP succession process is one that is executed with an amazing surgical precision that is carefully thought out. And I can bet you, even PDP and APC can only imagine or wish for it. It's carefully planned, and it's something that I don't know how it is. But mind you, I say it's carefully planned. But at the end of the day, that process is based on integrity, right, and a deep passion and concern for a sustainable structure that is going to stand the test of time. And to this, I salute the founding fathers of this council for the ingenuity and the thought of having set sort up. Now, between the nominations, when the nominations ended and when the outcome was formally presented to council, I had a very unfortunate experience, of going into what I call the Hall of Fame, in the Niger Delta when I was adopted. And before, if you don't understand, I was kidnapped. That's what I meant, I was adopted. So when I look at it, I said, that's the Hall of Fame, because, when I came out and I met fellow kidnappees, they said, okay, anytime you see, put your name instead of OFR, just put KB, kidnapped before. So we've been to the Hall of Fame. Anyway, at that time, a lot of people were deeply concerned. There was a lot of, concerns from not just my family, but friends and everybody concerned about my well-being and overall safety. When I came out of the Hall of Fame, I was glad to find out that the SPE community, not just in Port Harcourt section, but all across Nigeria, were actually a major concerned group of people, or I would say constituency that I was attached to, that were actually deeply concerned about what was happening to me. At the time, the results were formally presented to council, and I was requested or asked to accept or reject it. It was a long, I thought about it, for quite a while. I gave it a lot of deep thought. And it was not like, it had nothing to do with my experience, in the Hall of Fame, right? Permit me to keep using that. But it was more for other reasons. Now, eventually, I accepted the nomination. And I could see from a lot of SP folks that I was close to that they all heaved a deep sigh of relief, because a lot of people were expecting that because of what I had just experienced, I probably would have just reclined into a shell and stayed off anything like that. But I took it up and I could see that, look, these are real friends. They're not just professional colleagues. They're actually real friends. And I really, really appreciate people in SPE. So without wasting too much time, I cannot but thank the leadership and all the members of SPE Nigeria Council, that reside in all the sections, for the vote of confidence that they have placed on me to be able to occupy this office. Now, I equally cannot proceed further, without, spending a little bit of time to talk about our outgoing chairman, Chikeze Nwosu. To be honest, in my years of working at close ranks with SP Council chairman, right, I've really not come across anybody that has the energy and passion to see SP sustain or attain the kind of height that I attain, like Chike. In case you don't know it, Chike actually came into that role as an outlier. He stuck out like a sore thumb. And I say this because he didn't actually possess the SP experience, right, and the pedigree of understanding the inner workings of the structure of SP and how it works in the Nigerian Council. But he dived into the job and he deconstructed and totally demystified everything they keep saying about SP. I remember, it took a while anyway, because, I remember Chike in our first set of council meetings, the first, even up to March this year, when he wants to talk about NICE, he says, we're planning for the NAICE. Remember? NAICE. NICE was not an acronym that resonated with him, because again, he was an outlier. But funny enough, I think I like that acronym. It sounds like ATC, NAIC. Anyway, he combined administrative acumen with sound technical know-how and also a deep knowledge of the issues facing the country and our industry. And with that, he topped it up with excellent people management. He brought out the best in the team that he was able to put together to deliver on NICE 2018. And from what we can see that this team is on the verge of delivering probably one of the best NICE events we've had in recent times. Round of applause for him. Now, I'm afraid because he's created some kind of a standard that is almost unmatchable, but I'm excited because I know that the way SP is structured, right, it is not as simple as a baton exchange, right? You're going nowhere, like they said, right? So you need to be, just like Dr. Saka supported you, you also need to support my stewardship, as it were. So ladies and gentlemen, let us appreciate Chikeze Nwosu once again. I also want to, extend thanks and appreciation to the members of my home section, that's Port Harcourt section, right? Their support over the years has been incredible, and they were also part of, the people who supported my candidates, as it were. Now, I know that our section, Port Harcourt section, may not always be remembered or thought of, for the right reasons, because of a lot of issues that keep coming up. But then, despite all of this, that section continues to remain stronger and tougher. And in adversity, we've been able to find strength and togetherness wherever we find ourselves. And I am proud of that section. And I pledge that all of those issues that you hear about Port Harcourt to be a thing of the past. And we are going to turn all those issues into being professional, in fact, consultant dispute resolutors, resolution experts, as it were. So if you have disputes anywhere in any area of human endeavor, come to us in Port Harcourt section, we'll tell you how to resolve it. Now, finally, I want to just thank my organization, All Data Energy Group. Over the past 2 decades, that I've been working there, they provided me with a platform to excel in my professional life, my technical space, and also allowed me the space to enjoy and express myself within the SP terrain. I want to appreciate Semeka Ine. He's there videoing me. I don't know what he wants to do with it, but please. Yeah. So now, what do we plan? What do we have to expect, from this council year? Clearly, it's been said a lot. I know my face, my stature, whatever it is, might come across as somebody younger than what you are used to seeing normally with somebody that holds this esteemed office, And I know we've talked about the big crew change and all of that, but the way I look at it is that SP remains an institution. Again, I must commend our founding fathers for setting up this structure, because as it stands, right, the framework that we have there is almost on autopilot. So all you need to do is to plan your objectives and work within the structure, and everything is going to work fine for you, right? So it's not like we are reinventing the wheel, right? The work has been done for us. It's just like America. Over 200 years, they've set up their system, and I sometimes joke that a 3-year-old could probably be the president of America today. I mean, because everything is there for them to work with. Yeah. Anyway, having said that, it's basically going to be business as usual under this leadership, right? We're going to combine what I call the past, the present, and the future of SPA. The past being the senior members of the BOT, the current professional members, and of course the young professionals who are aspiring to also create or leave their mark, in the workings of the council. I aim to ensure that we have a balanced involvement of sections in all the standing committees and the subcommittees, to which we are going to be calling on all section chairmen, right, to collaborate with us and to make sure that we cover as many people as possible that are willing to volunteer in bringing them together to deliver all our programs and events. We still anticipate that our young team of professionals that are innovative and creative will continue to drive the efforts at improving our overall bottom line, because we do not want to just run programs for the sake of running them. We need to maintain sound fiscal discipline, like we've seen in the books that we saw right now. It's not about spending money, but spending money wisely. We will continue to emphasize and propagate knowledge, technical knowledge, just as the mission of SPE portends. And at the end of the day, right, we're going to build a very solid team, one of which I'm going to be presenting to us. That is the team, not just the council now, but all the standing committees, the subcommittees, and the membership of those committees after the ATC in Dallas. I intend to do that within 2 weeks of us coming back from Dallas. Now, 2019 is coming fast at us, and I want to just present the theme for the conference. Our intention is to continue on the tradition of delivering world-class conferences, okay? And we've been working over the past 3 months on coming up with a suitable theme for that conference. And as you will see, right, the theme here is titled Artificial Intelligence, Big Data, and Mobile Technology, Changing the Future of the Energy Industry. Now, already with my conference chair, I call her my conference chair because she's already the conference chair now, right, for 2019. She already mobilized resources to deliver on a fantastic digitalization workshop today. And that workshop essentially is an icebreaker, right? And it provides the platform for us to be able to deliver big on this. So everything in 2019 is going to be about big data. It's going to be about digitalization, and everything, the messages we pass, the conversations we have, the discussions and deliberations are going to be centered around this. So in closing, I want to stress that as a council and as a society, all the decisions and actions we take, right, must ensure that we strengthen, the bond within us and strengthen the council and all of our sections so that we can provide hope and encouragement to the young generation while at the same time maintaining the confidential ones that we are going to continue the vision for which they are propagated. On this note, I want to formally accept with honor and humility the chairmanship of SPE Nigeria Council for the next council year. Thank you very much. God bless. So at this point, I think the next item on the agenda is to invite the SP International President, Mr. Desi Spady, to give us some quick remarks. A round of applause for him, please.
Quick remarks. Thank you, Debo, Mr. Chair. I see we had a safety moment earlier. We averted a fire because of one of our vigilant volunteers pulling the paper off the front of the projector. So thank you, everybody. I'll skip the protocols because it's late and everybody wants to get to the tables in the back. I have some quick highlights. So first of all, thank you so much again for inviting me, letting me be here. I'm really impressed with the successful countrywide council. I know there's lines across Nigeria every now and then, and I don't notice any of them here. And I know we have people from the north and people from the center and people from the west and people from the east, and I'm thrilled that I don't know the difference. Congratulations. I think the rest of the world could learn a few things from you. I will be putting some pictures from here in my slide deck as I go around. So first of all, I want to thank you for what you've done and the awards you've hit. Once again, there's going to be 5 sections. All 5 sections are going to be represented at ATC this year from this council. 3 presidential award winners, so I'll see you on stage in Dallas, Abuja, Lagos, and Warri. And the gold standard will be mentioned there, and that's Benin City and Port Harcourt. So all 5 of you are meeting the standards. I might make notice that out of the 7 sections in Canada, my home, 1 made it. So there you go. Six universities win the President's Award. AUST in Abuja, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Ejbenidion University, Okada, took me 2 tries, University of Ibadan, River State University of Science and Technology, and Anambra State University. So that's the 6 that won the President's Award. And I will be seeing representatives from all of them on stage. In addition, 6 more student chapters got the gold standard designation. And my dear home country of Canada with 14 universities, I think the number is 0. So there you go. This is a great event. It was a non-miss for me. I didn't have much choice. And I'm thrilled that I didn't have much choice, and I'll make sure the next guy is equally obliged to come. It's a tremendous event. It's full. It has a great diversity of things within it. I'll get to that in a minute. So congratulations on NACE 2018 being another success. We have had tremendously strong representation on the SP International Board from your own famous engineer, Adeyemi Akelewon. He is the global chair of the Trainings, Programs, Meetings Committee, which is one of three committees at the SP board level. He sits on the Finance and Strategy Committee. He's the only male out of the 3 committee leaders, so you got your representation. And Yemi has done a tremendous job on that committee, and we know that Professor Wumi Ildare is going to do equally well coming in. It's his year to learn. The Benin Petrobowl team was amazing last year. I have to repeat it. I know it was stated. Okay, there's 2 guys. 2 guys went all the way to number 2. If there'd have been 4, they'd have been 1 and then something. 2 guys made it all the way to number 2, and they lost by a very, very, it was 120 to 87 or something. Phenomenal effort with 2 individuals, and the whole Petrobowl thing has changed. It's a global, Number 1 was Mexico. Number 2 was the Nigerian team. Number 3 was Philippines. Number 4 was Oklahoma somewhere. So we've got a huge international repertoire of Petrobol, and Benin City was there with a half of a team. Man, what could your World Cup team do next time with half of it? Well, never mind. Financial stability. I am really impressed by the books. When I look up there and did a little conversion and saw $826,000 US in cash, tremendous. You know, that puts you into the rare thing of 5 or 6 sections on Earth. I realize it's a council, but only 5 or 6 sections on Earth get audited by SP International, and this is one of them because you're over 500,000 US. It's extremely rare for a country or a group to have this sort of funds and to keep them over the last year or two. There's been some big numbers that have been cut in half, including Calgary section. So tremendous kudos to you for running a tight financial ship and saving your money and holding it well. Your member growth numbers were strong. What I saw in the annual report, this is, again, globally anomalous. So congratulations. I think the accounting guy was right. You know, this is the future of the new world or something. It's amazing. I guess we need to call him an accountant, not an accounting guy. Your women in leadership session today was tremendous. The fact that this room had a whole pile of women in it, and they were discussing really good issues. Congratulations, and I will say that it needs to reflect in the council and board of trustees. I saw 2 out of 19 in the council last year listed, and on the board of trustees 2 out of 41. So there's your challenge. Get some young and some diversity, and other than that, you had a great session today, and I'm sure it'll be no issue. Your YP program for 2 days, a day of social and a day of technical. And they gave me a free shirt. How much better does it get? So I really think overall, finally, I'm so impressed with the Nigeria Council. I'm so impressed with the individuals. I'm so impressed with this conference. I am going to refer to you as a template for other places when I go around. So tremendous job. And last, and we won't put this in the record, please. The last and the best part is Nigeria has a new chief. And my wife, who's starting a business in Calgary called La Boss, so she's La Boss. I told her I was a new chief, and she laughed, and then she said, "You're Chief Foss," which is her nickname for me. So La Boss and Chief Foss, when you see us around, you can greet us by our proper titles. So thank you very much.
At this point, I want to invite any other, well, it will be now part of the agenda. So,
distinguished members, I'm really thrilled to see what is going on now because this has always been our aspiration. When you have a smooth running house, you don't know what it is. It is when you see things like this, you have hope. And like I always mention, he mentioned it here, in this place here, there's no Igbo, no Yoruba, nobody. So it gives us courage that this country can still move. And we still have people with integrity, irrespective of the rascals running the show. So this whole exercise is training you people to develop the new Nigeria some of us would like to see before we die. There must be Because you're talking of integrity, accountability, and all that. It's showing clearly here. So we all have what it takes to do it. But when you leave the place for the dogs, then what you get will be a dog food. So I'm appealing that this spirit we have in here, we have to carry it further in our own small ways, because this is a mini Nigeria that is working. We're able to resolve our issues and get it behind and move forward. See the progress we've made from 99 till now is amazing. If we have situations like this happen in this country, maybe we won't have this present thing we have. But let all of us go home with this spirit, apply it to our small environment. With time, it could build up to be the type of place we want to see. As for Chike, I don't know how to thank you, but it wasn't by error that you were picked, because we're looking for people who have their legs on ground that can rock the boat in any direction. If the fish is too small, you can't rock the boat. There are a lot of things he brought to bear because of his position in his company. And the good thing about SP is not being a millionaire or whatever, is the support all of us give to the masquerade. So you have a masquerade dancing, every one of us rally around. Luckily for Debo, I think he's on the right track because his boss is ready to back him up. Thank you, Emeka. So he said you have no choice. So all of us will rally around you to go to places. And the good thing about SP, you don't just live like that. Chike is there. He still have 1 year, if not more years to serve. He left long ago, but when the chips are down, to go. All of us, we're all committed. If the road is so hard to cross, we're all available. We're all Nigerians. We can go to places. There's no fear or favor for anybody. You go in there, you're making a legitimate demand to improve the system. And any reasonable Nigerian should know that you're not out to defraud anybody. You are out to make things better. So I'm appealing, every one of you in your respective positions, let's use this to teach this country that we still have the brain to do what we are supposed to do as a nation. And I'm glad that Dusty is here seeing it. We've come a long way, but this is where we are. And you pass it on because it's like passing on the baton. We started 99, bring Steve Holdish. Since then, we said, look, you guys come here and see what we are doing. Because the concept of this is a jungle, I think, is gone. It is a different ball game. You help us to tell whoever is coming, like we did with you, that this is something to attend. I thank you all for all the performance, and to all those who made this conference successful. I think you've given us a new hope that there's life in this country. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Just joining the accolades. But just something that I feel that maybe the council may need to consider. The technical papers, we normally ask people to go to certain apps to download. I was just wondering, is it possible that in the future we'll consider putting like maybe the copies, flash drives in the bags, instead of asking people to go to different apps and all that. I know it's done when you go outside Nigeria for conferences. So I think it's something you may wish to consider, so that at least the bags will contain records of the technical papers for people to be able to look at. Thank you.
Usually there is a part of this AGM that is not highlighted. I wish to highlight that. Chike has done so well that he has now been promoted from being secretary to the board of trustees to being a trustee himself. And the vacancy that has been created by elevating him will now be occupied by Debo. Debo now become the secretary to the board of trustees. Two of you, welcome on board. Now, Alex talked about support. I, as the current chairman of the board of trustees, am pledging that all the trustees will be behind this council. No, yeah. And I said before, we are just phone calls away. Don't forget, the outgoing AROD and the incoming are also trustees. So don't forget, they are here. If you need to tap on their experience, please call them. If you need to tap on the experience of any trustee, if you don't know his name or number, call me. I will bring him out. So, we are at your disposal. Thank you.
Okay, we have one AOB from Temitope.
So under the AOB, we still have cutting of the anniversary cake. That will be done at the cocktail. Or do you have it here? Oh, okay. Oh, it's right in front here. Yes. Yes. So I will call the council chair. Okay. Then the other announcement is we would like to announce the venue, the host of our next student technical symposium and exhibition, and is one of our well-endowed student chapter in Nigeria, in Lagos section, and that will be Obafemi Awolowo University Student Chapter. So, come first quarter 2019, we'll have they will host us for the 2019 Students Technical Symposium and Exhibition. We can cut the cake.
Okay, before we cut the anniversary cake, just a quick recognition on the floor of the AGM. I want to recognize Professor Wumi Iledare. I think this year's NICE is going to be your 20th anniversary of teaching successively and consecutively at short courses and attending NICE. 20 years. And on that note, I will want to invite him to come and lead the cutting of the cake. All other BOTs, please join him, including Chikeze. Okay, if you notice, please, members should not leave yet. Yeah. Because the cutting of the cake is actually an agenda item. So the meeting has not been adjourned. All right. Go ahead, Prof. Yeah. So on the count of, what do we count now? SPE. SPE. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. And on that note, I would like to invite somebody from the audience to move a motion to adjourn this meeting. Mike.
Daniel Lagbone, Section 104.
Bill teacher our rules. Okay, I, Ike Orunta, Section 103. I want to move.
Exactly.
Is it not Port Harcourt? I move that we adjourn this AGM. Thank you. Thank you very much. And a supporter.
Okay.
Professor GCOB, Anambra State University. Section 103. I second the motion for adjournment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's a cocktail right now at the back of the hall. Yeah.
Larry.
Okay.
When your legs don't walk like